Animals have been just a natural part of my life. Not even that I was able to have a lot of them growing up, but it's always been a gift for certain. My mom tells stories about me being very, very tiny and still having this ability with animals, to communicate with animals almost before I could with humans. I'm Marybeth, and this is CowgirlUp Ranch. We call it HorseSpeak at CowgirlUp Ranch. And HorseSpeak developed, I trademarked that name actually about 20 years ago as a way of working with horses and the language of horses. And I worked that as a clinician, training people and horses and teaching people about horses. And that evolved over the years into what we are now, which is HorseSpeak Center for Personal Development, a nonprofit dedicated to working with people. I had realized in my own life that horses and animals in general had been kind of a salvation. I had suffered from PTSD myself from a previous career in law enforcement and just some life circumstances that had happened to me. And always horses and animals have just been what's brought me through and made me feel like I wasn't alone in the world. As we were working with people and their horses, we realized soon that it wasn't really about the horses and problems with the horses. It was more about people and issues that were coming up in their own life that were causing the anxiety and the confidence issues when they were working with their horses. As we recognized that and I started delving into that with the clients, then the problems with the horses just sort of went away. And that made me start realizing that maybe that's the direction that I should be going. What we always work on, no matter whether we're working in a psychotherapy or a therapeutic riding or just a camp or what you would think of as a lesson, it's always about relationship. So our focus is always on relationship between people and horses. I had an adult client that was working overall on some anxiety issues. However, in this case, there was a decision that she was trying to make. So she had laid out a path. She'd placed several objects in the path that represented parts of the decision that she needed to make. And down the line, there was a barrel, and that barrel represented if the client was to make this decision and move elsewhere, how that might affect her mom. So she leads the horse through it, and the horse kind of meanders through with no big moments in the pathway till he gets to that mom barrel. And he stops there and he keeps putting his mouth on the barrel and trying to knock it over, and she keeps grabbing the barrel and setting it back up, not letting him knock it over. And as we began exploring that more, she realized how much guilt that she had about potentially leaving her mom and feeling like she should be responsible as a daughter, not willing to let the horse just knock that barrel down. For her, represented that she was hanging on to that. The emus are actually one of the main ones that I use, particularly with kids, because emus are sort of like the mood rings of the bird world. If an emu is really content and happy, their neck and head area will actually get bluer and bluer. And then if they are angry, they'll tend to get a little red, and if they're kind of neutral, they'll be gray. And so it's a wonderful way to ask children who may not have the emotional vocabulary about how I can tell if you were happy, mad, or sad, or neutral. I believe strongly that everybody has the answers within themselves, and my job is just simply to help them bring that out and find those answers.